in the Lone Star State. How hard is it to actually build and launch an entirely new exchange?
That's right, Katie. Well, they first have to get approval from regulators. So they will file with the SEC. Once that gets done, they have to actually then gain momentum. They actually have to see the trading start to happen. And whenever you have a new exchange, really what needs to happen first is that the volumes increase, and that incentivizes investors and market makers to route to that exchange. Really, if there's increased liquidity, that means that there's going to be better pricing more often. And that's why NYSE and NASDAQ, in growing their own liquidity, have been able to keep such dominance and keep their volumes so high over time.
Yeah, it's a good point, of course, that at the end of the day, it's all about liquidity. And also, too, on the timeline here, I mean, there's a lot of steps still. But it's interesting to see this because you know very well that there's a bit of an IPO drought right now. IPO volumes have been very, very muted. When it comes to the Texas Stock Exchange, I mean, what is the potential vision here for the business in terms of what they're targeting?
So it does seem like they're targeting corporations that would go to NYSE and NASDAQ, but might be frustrated with some of the new rules and regulations, the compliance that is put in place. Think about NASDAQ's board diversity program that they have put in that might limit some companies that don't meet the certain threshold that is placed for listing on NASDAQ. If they still want to go public but don't meet the threshold, they might choose the Texas Stock Exchange. That is really what this business is targeting. They want to be an open venue that has less rules, less restrictions than NYSE and NASDAQ. They're going to really promote themselves as the welcoming Texas state that is welcoming to companies that might not want to go through the hurdles that they would see in New York.
And I mean, this news is interesting in and of itself, but also interesting are some of the backers. Like we said, Citadel, BlackRock, among the investors here. What could be the bet on their part? Are they trying to hedge something here?
So this is not the first time that we've seen market makers like Citadel, Virtu back exchange operations. In 2019, the members exchange, MEMEX, which is still up and operating, they, along with some of the biggest banks, backed their new exchange that is, again, still in play, and they are taking market share from some of the big incumbents. And we've seen Howard Lutnick's futures exchange that is to launch later this year. That is not in equities, but in futures. But again, this is a big play for participants that might just want more venue, more choice. And there's also sometimes a financial incentive when you are a backer of the exchange. You might get actually more of the ownership in the exchange if you send more volumes to that venue.
All right, so I do want to give you guys a little bit more key facts about the Texas Stock Exchange. So it's backed up by more than 24 investors, also including Citadel Securities and also BlackRock, which is there's a company that's in it. The stock exchange has raised over $120 million in capital and plans to register with Securities and Exchange Commissions later this year, according to the press release. While it will also have a physical headquarters in Dallas, so it's going to be in Dallas. That's where the headquarters is going to be. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, and the company will employ about 100 people, which that's good. The Texas Exchange aims to have primary listings, dual listings, exchange trades, products. Also, the Texas Stock Exchange was founded in 2023 and will be a fully electronic national security exchange that seeks to expand access to markets for all investors and those seeking access to public capital. And then one more key note. It plans to start facilitating trades in 2025, which is next year, and host its first listing the following year. Oh, wow, okay. So yeah, so those are your key facts. So by 2025, once they get a headquarters in Dallas and everything, they're ready to rock and roll. So go ahead, Hakeem, man. What's your take about Texas having their own stock exchange?
Oh, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Hey, first off, I want to say, Sophia, you are right. Texas is a very male-dominated place. I'm not going to disagree with you. You also know is a lot of Christian fundamentalists. So a lot of that will go against a lot of women's rights and stuff like that. So that's That's something I'm not going to disagree with you. That's a whole nother thing we would love to talk about if you wanted to join us one day. So one thing I'm going to say is this: Texas is the fourth largest economy and the eighth
Yes,
within the world. $2.4 trillion that it brings in a year.
correct.
This was going to come regardless. You remember they tried to separate themselves from the United States, but the
That's
United
correct.
States say no, 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 no. So you also got to remember there's over 3.1 million businesses in there. Some of the
Hmm.
some of the world's businesses are based in Texas, so this only makes sense. And there's 3.1 millionaires, and no, I think it's 12 millionaires listed on tax returns in Texas. So it's going to be an overwhelming support for this. I've been seeing something like this coming. A lot of people with GDP is moving there. Elon went there. Boeing, everybody who ran away from California ran there. Texas
Correct.
overtook California as soon as a lot of the business flood due to liberal laws. So we just got to expect it. I think this is why it's all about what you vote for. So we'll see if they allow this. That's my take on it.
Now, when it comes to Texas, I think Texas is doing a good thing. Now, shout out to God is forever. Great
Got
to
it
see
forever.
you. It's been for so long.
Pretty
No, but I know
brown,
you normally comment. Go ahead, Hakeem. What you was gonna say?
pretty brown, driving me well. God is
Wow,
forever. How my stepkids doing?
she been gone for so long, but it's great to see you. You know, it's good to see you in the chat. She said finally she made it. Yes, you finally made it in the chat room. Finally, I think it was mostly my end. I kind of got it situated. Thanks to Hakeem. My busy, my bad, y'all. No need to apologize. To me, if you could swing about one, it's good enough. It's great to see your presence. We really do greatly appreciate it. Now, Sophia Grace said something that was very powerful. I hope somebody go back and pay attention to. Now that shout out to Ashton Wims,
Brr.
also in the building. Big Shiesty, Big Blurs in the building. She said, BlackRock. BlackRock is a big company. The share right now is $788 a share. Not only that, but the dividend yield is on 2.59%, which is really good. So if you're someone that really looking to stock and want to invest in something, of course it's not financial advice. I recommend you kind of do invest in this company because they do, to me, they own a lot of company, a lot of big name company. Not only that, but by Texas trying to do the Nasdaq thing, BlackRock is also going to invest in that. So you already know their stock price is gonna increase. It's going to increase dramatically. So I think that's a good opportunity to look into. They have a steady growth. It looked like nothing really in the decline. It's in like everything is on the up climb. So that's something if you guys really want to look into, go ahead and look into it. Now, when it comes to the aspect of Texas is big, like Hakeem stated, one of the biggest states, the fourth one of the biggest states, and I hope one of these days Florida does the same. Because the thing is, when you bring in something like the Nasdaq over there, people gonna see more. Sorry, people gonna see more value in the stock exchange. I mean, people gonna invest more. So that's something that's really for especially. Oh, can you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they lost me.
No, no, no. Yo, Ron, you here? Ron. No.
Uh-oh. All right, I'll go a little bit. I apologize, my daughter, she's talking in the background. But anyways, as you guys know, Texas is one of the top two. I would say, I'll go and I have right finish. So you guys don't know, Texas is one of the top two states that everybody's moving in. Either they move to Dallas, they move to Houston, they move to Austin, Texas, or they move to San Antonio. Those four cities in Texas and everything. And Dallas, they really want to. I would say, yeah, I just want to say Texas. They really want to put their name out there with having their stock exchange. They really want to be Texas. They want to be the number one state. Bigger than New York, bigger than California, bigger than Florida. They want to. It's a southern state. It's one of the biggest states. In America and everything.
Right.
Yeah. And I can see. I just like I said, I'm just very intrigued of how this really, really gonna go and everything. You know, it's the headquarters is going to be in in Dallas. It's going to employ some people and everything. And you know, I'm just really anxious how this, you know, how you know the Texas Exchange, how this going to really, you know, turn the economy around, not just the state, but in America. You know, is it, you know, we're going to bring more people to move to Texas, particularly, you know, Dallas? Is it, are people going to be more intrigued to do that and everything? Or also, is Texas going to bring more businesses? As you can see, a lot of business that was in Northern California and Silicon Valley, you know, like, you know, Tesla, you know, other companies, you know, they moved to, you know, Texas, preferably the city of Austin and everything. And I just want to see, you know, what the stock exchange are more companies gonna move to Texas and everything. Because I saw something, I think it was yesterday. In the next 50 to 100 years, I think it's gonna be like the 40 to 50 million people is gonna be either moving or be living in Texas. I think it's in the next 100 years. I can't remember where I found it at, but that's what I heard and everything. So yeah, this is gonna be, this is interesting. You know, this could definitely, you know, change the game for the economy, not just in Texas, but also the United States of America as well.
Yeah, sorry about that. Before I was interrupted by these people, but like I stated before, I think it's gonna be a good look for Texas. Don't be surprised other states start doing the same thing and start bring the Nasdaq back into their state as well. I think Florida might be the next state, and also not only Florida but also Georgia. Like the big states are doing it because the Nasdaq been in New York for a very long time, but a lot of people